outgrowing your friends spiritually. Throw the friendship in the bin. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Benny and I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based in Budapest. If this is your first time, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you stay. Kindly hit the subscribe button, like this video, share, comment, all that good stuff. Let's keep growing this community together. So as you can see by the title already, today's video is going to be a get ready with me. We will be doing this phase while we talk about the topic at hand. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about navigating adult friendships. If you are an adult above 20, 30s and upwards, you would know that the dynamics of friendships are not the same as when we were like kids or like so much younger. Like everything was a lot less complex back then than it is now. So that's why I felt the need to make this video, because I wanted to just talk about it and share what I actually think about adult friendships. So if you are interested in seeing that, please keep watching the video. Before we jump into the video, I just wanted to say, if you're looking for one of those videos that will advise you or prompt you or push you to cut off your friends, because that's what's up right now, then you might as well just like click out, because this isn't the video for you. Cut people off, people this, people that. This is not the video. We're doing real talk here, okay? So first thing I have to say about adult friendships, and this has to do with, first of all, forming friendships in your adulthood. Honestly, shared values are the most important thing. If you're an adult, you're in your 20s and above, and you're trying to form like friendships that actually matter, or that are actually going to go on with you, not just like random people that you want to hang out with or you want to just chill with. Honestly, shared values, you can't even ignore it. When you and somebody share the same values, like you might not necessarily always see things from the same angle, the same point of view, or you may not always agree eye to eye on everything, right? But when you share the same values, it just means that you still hover around the same center point. The same kind of things still matter to the both of you. You might have divergent points of view on different issues. It could be anything, but at the end of the day, your values align. Listen, the point I'm making is, don't waste your time with people who don't share the same values as you. Shared values are the most important thing you need to look out for when you're trying to form your friendship. Now, I'm not here to tell you what your values should be. That's solely completely up to you or your parents to have instilled in you when you were like younger, or when you must have watched them while you were growing up. So your values are yours, and I don't think anybody should find in your values for you. However, whatever those values are that you have, stand by them, stick to them, and when you are forming relationships with people, don't ignore them. Don't shrink them. Don't try to fit in, and by so doing, throw your values out of the window. If there's any relationship or friendship that is going to make you throw your values out the window, especially if in your heart you know that these are positive values, completely not worth it. I'm telling you, don't waste your time. My second point about making adult friendships work: an increased amount of grace is going to be required of you. And if you want that friendship to work, if you want that relationship to work, if you value these people or those people in your life that you call your friends, there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to be required to have an increased amount of grace. It just means, with adulting, right, everybody is constantly in a state of adjustment to one form of change or another. It might be happening to different people at different times, especially in like 20s, 30s. That's when most people get married. It's when most people have children. It's when most people move into new jobs, new careers, new cities, new lots of things. Basically, everybody is adjusting to one new reality or another. Sometimes these things might even be like too much for them to process. People are dealing with breakups, people are dealing with new relationships, people are dealing with marriage, people are dealing with the loss of family members, people are dealing with new jobs, new school, so many changes are flying around the place. You can't take everything personal. I'm telling you, it's not going to work. An increased amount of grace is always going to be required of you. Just have it at the back of your mind when you're dealing with something or somebody or something maybe your friend did to you, right? Don't use the mind of when you were 16 or when you were 21 or when you were whatever to judge the situation. Judge the situation based on the current circumstances of things. Like, if you really want to keep these people in your life, if you want to make your friendships last, you're gonna have to give people grace. I know this is the age of, oh, if you're not giving me what I want, then I'll, there'll always be people who do. But I'm telling you, if you have quality relationships and friendships and you intend to make those relationships or friendships work, right, you're just gonna have to give people grace. There's no way around it. So the next thing I have to say about maintaining friendships or relationships in general as an adult or in your 20s, that accountability is very important. You have to just learn how to be accountable. Now, I'm talking about actual relationships. I'm not talking about all these, I don't know what you guys are up to these days, all these relationships that you guys just, I really don't know what you kids be doing these days. I'm talking about real relationships. You can never escape accountability. It's so important in any form of relationship, romantic, platonic, but we're talking about friendships now. You can't escape being accountable for your actions. If someone is dear to you, the truth is that you owe them an explanation. There's this new wave of, I don't have to explain myself. Why do I need to explain myself? I don't owe anybody any explanation. You owe people explanations. If you decide that someone is a part of your life and a dear part of your life, you owe that person some form of explanation. Now, I'm not saying that you need to report to these people as if they are your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. However, you are accountable to these people. The actions you take, how those actions affect these people and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with being accountable. There's nothing wrong with holding yourself a standard and say, when I did this, when I did that, maybe I was acting out of line, maybe I wasn't thinking straight. And there's nothing wrong with taking accountability and apologizing to your friends, telling them, hey, what's up, I know you kind of expected more from me in this situation and I didn't, and I'm really sorry, and explaining your reason to them. If they are truly your friends, if they truly love you the way they should, the way you want them to, it's not even going to be a problem because you've taken accountability. If people mean something to you, you owe them a level of explanation. You owe them some accountability. It may vary in levels from person to person, and that's completely fine. But if someone is a part of your life and you decided for that person to be a part of your life, one of the few ways that you can make that relationship work is being accountable to them. My next thing that I wanted to say, there's no big deal in reassuring your friends. There's no big deal. I mean, this is kind of connected to the last point I made about accountability. There's no big deal in just reminding your friends that they are still important, despite the fact that, one or two things had gone wrong between you guys. Remember when I had just moved countries in 2020, my really good friend, she didn't really check up on me as such when I had moved, because I was moving to a brand new place where I didn't know anybody at all. I was literally moving somewhere completely new. Before I left, we're all, oh my god, I'm gonna miss you so much, when are we going to see next? And I realized that she kind of didn't really check up on me, and I felt really bad about it. Initially, I felt like I wasn't going to talk about it because to me it was well, if she really cares about me, she would check. I don't need to remind people who care about me to check up on me. But at the same time, or at that time, I didn't take into consideration that yes, quite alright, while I did need her support at the time, she also had her life going on at the time. Anyways, I finally spoke to her about it and I was like, oh, I'm not happy with you about this, and she just basically explained herself to me. Oh, this is why, and you know, I just want you to know that I still love you. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that, oh, because you were out of sight, then you were completely out of my mind. No, a lot was just happening, and we basically had a talk about it and reassured ourselves that, oh, I mean, our love wasn't going anywhere. And that's a gesture to me that I will never forget in my life, because she took the time and she felt that our relationship was important enough for her to give me that explanation. The point of this long gist I'm giving is, guys, if you value your friend or your friends, right, it's very okay to reassure them. We're all people, and sometimes people might just need like a little bit more love than normal. It's okay to reassure your friends. If you want that relationship to last, if that relationship means something to you, if it is important to you, it's okay to reassure the person. I know sometimes it may come off as, you know, the other person being needy or naggy, or just, you know, basically requiring too much, right? Sometimes it can feel that way, but if you love them and you want it to work, I think sometimes it's okay to just bear that inconvenience and remind them that they are really, really important to you. The next thing, listen, there's nothing wrong with having expectations, friends or from people around you. I don't understand how a relationship can work without expectations. However, you must learn to manage your expectations, because disappointment is like one of the things that kills relationships fastest. It's important that you have expectations of your friends or your people around you, right? But you must learn to manage those expectations. You have to understand that people are not going to always be able to fulfill your friendship needs. One person may not be able to fulfill all your friendship needs all the time. I mean, your friendship is gonna have seasons of, like, you know, really close periods when, you know, everything is gonna be so rosy and you guys can help each other with everything and do everything for each other. And there's also going to be periods where, you know, one person or both of you may not even be able to be as present for each other as you may have expected. In those times when the things are not, you know, the way you want them to be, you're going to have to learn to manage your expectations. There's nothing you can do about it. Like I said earlier, at this stage or age, everyone is literally dealing with very drastic changes in life. You are going to have to adjust, you're going to have to grow up and realize that it's not always going to be like that. There are times when you're just going to have to manage your expectations. So when these people don't meet up to your expectations, when something happens and it didn't go as you planned or as you thought or as you imagined or as you wanted it to go, you're still able to regulate your emotions and not throw the friendship in the bin just because expectations were not met. Managing expectations is a key skill every adult has to learn. So the next thing I wanted to say, as my eyebrows are so bad right now, I don't even know, but the next thing I wanted to say about surviving adult friendships is that, as with every relationship, right, family, school, work, love, friendship, there must be boundaries. You have to learn, sorry guys, my mirror is here, so I'm going to be looking this way as I'm talking. You have to learn and understand personal boundaries with people, and you just have to know that every individual's boundaries are different, because we're all different people, right? So people are not always going to have the same boundaries. What one person can consider as fine or okay, another person is going to see it as crossing the line or pushing it. This is why it's not good to have too many friends, because you can only manage so many people or so many things at the same time. The point I'm making is you need to learn friends' boundaries, and you also as a person have to have your own boundaries. If you want them to respect your boundaries, I mean, reciprocity is key. You're going to have to also learn their own boundaries and learn how to respect their boundaries. That's the only way, because this is adulthood. Not everybody is fine with every form of like intrusion. You need to learn your friends, learn their boundaries. Learn that, oh, this person is most likely not going to appreciate this thing if I do it to them. Yeah, another person may be fine with it, another person may be okay with it, but if it's this my particular friend, she's not gonna like it or he's not gonna like it. So I'm just gonna have to respect that boundary if I want to keep this person in my life as my friend. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, it's a normal part of life that you're just gonna have to adjust to and deal with. If you want that friendship to work, if you want it to stay in your life, you're just gonna have to learn. You're just gonna have to learn. The next thing I wanted to say about maintaining adult friendships: outgrowing people is not the same thing as abandoning people. And I'm saying this because I see a lot of people like conflating it. You hear a lot of people saying things like, oh, I've outgrown that friendship, oh, I've outgrown that this, and that's very valid. As a human being, the only thing that is constant is change, and a positive type of change is growth, right? So yes, it is possible to outgrow people. It is possible to outgrow certain friendships, right? But it's not the same as abandoning people. Like, you abandoning people does not necessarily mean you outgrew them, or outgrowing people does not necessarily translate to abandoning them. You could have outgrown people financially. Let's say, yeah, you guys were buddies, both of you were in the trenches together, one thing happened and you leveled up, right? Money came for you, or so many other things happened for you. It could be anyhow, but they didn't receive the same kind of level up as you yet. Their time hadn't just come yet. You now say, because you've outgrown this person financially, meaning financially you guys are not in the same space anymore, you guys can't do the same things anymore. Maybe what you guys used to bond over or enjoying doing together, you now have the luxury of not wanting to do those things anymore. You now say you cannot be friends with those people or with that person because you outgrew them. Or you, let's say you outgrew people mentally. Yeah, you guys used to be in the same mental space before, you saw things the same way, something happened. It could even be spiritually. This is another one I see people doing a lot: outgrowing your friends spiritually. Yeah, you became born again, your life changed and all of that, and that's a good thing. That's completely fine, but it's not the same as abandoning people. Like, these people can still be your friends. Obviously, if they start to become a hindrance to your growth, then you can now talk about, okay, how to remove yourself from the equation. But most times what I hear people, or what I see people doing, is that they just say, oh, I outgrew this, and I'm too grown for this, I'm too big for that, and then because of that you abandon people who loved you when you were nothing, who loved you when you were in the trenches, who loved you when you didn't even love yourself. You now say, because you've leveled up, because you've grown up, because things are working for you, you can't be your friends anymore. Anyways, I mean, good luck with that, but I'm just saying that for me, or in my opinion, they're not the same thing, and it makes absolutely no sense. Like, it's dumb. So the next thing I wanted to say about this is, you need to let go of your saver's mentality as a person. Now, I know when you are someone who always means well for people around you, right? You're always looking out for them, you always want the best outcomes for them, right? And as a result, you tend to project what you feel is the best. So when there's a situation and, you know, a choice needs to be made, you always, you know, push them, you always try to tell them what you feel is the best, or what if you were in the situation you would have done. You need to understand that every single person is on a different journey. Everybody's on their own journey. Everybody is handling their own thing in their own way, right? So what you think might be best for you, or what you think may have worked for you, may not necessarily be what is best for the other person. Yes, you mean well, but you need to let go of your saver's mentality. You can't save people. It's not your job, and it's not in your place as a friend. Your job and your place is to give your 2 cents and leave it at that. If they take it, fine, and if it works, even better. But if they don't take it, or if they're not doing things how you feel they should be doing it, right, you're just gonna have to let it go. I mean, you're going to have to let it go and still love them like that, because that's what love entails. And if you decide that someone is your friend, then it means you've decided to love that person. You need to just let go of your saver's mentality. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this video informative and helpful. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts and experiences with adult friendships and how you are navigating your friendships in adulthood. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please go ahead and do so. Follow me on my other social media. Everything is linked in the description box below, and I will see you guys in my next video.